Finally, we're back. Welcome one and all to 4K4U. We had taken the week off last week, but I'm glad we made it. We got a full panel here tonight. I'm Tom Connors. With me is Valliant Renegade. How are you doing?
I'm good. Good to be back live at 5 Mountain Time on a Wednesday.
That's right. Also joining us, we have Mike. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite well. Hope everyone else is too.
No more mic issues from Mike, so we're good. We started off the show trying to figure out Mike's mic. We also have Greg hopping in here. How you doing, Greg?
Doing good. Can't feel my legs, but I'm doing good.
What'd you do to your legs?
Nothing. I was just trying to be funny. I'm not funny.
I didn't know what the hell you did. I was like, wait, what?
It's just like that line from the Spider-Man movie popped in my head where he's like, oh my God, I can't feel my legs.
Oh, I thought you were doing like First Blood.
Oh yeah, I can't feel my leg. Can't feel my leg. Yeah, I don't know. That just popped in my head for some reason. I'm stupid.
You ain't got no legs.
I was dropped on my head a lot as a kid, so
his guts are falling out and he's trying to put it back in. That's what Sylvester Stallone. Welcome everybody, one and all, to 4K4U. Hello, Drew. Hello, Lance Corporal Waffles. We got just another red shirt in the chat, but he's not just another red shirt. That is right. He also has a wrench, so watch out. No, he's a good dude. We also have Coffee Lover here. We got FKHC 2005 Entertainment Wizard. I like that name. You got lucky. You got that early before anybody else thought of it. Let's see here. We got Dr. Coffin Nails, who I think is also swinging a wrench around in Duck Nation and more. Hit that like button. I see Sam Fisher, Xbox OG, Cool Gamer. We got Joey. Let's see. We've got Putin's Cat and EW Glick saying, "What's up?" AF Watcher says 2 words: Christian Smalls, how SAG-AFTRA win. Well, thank you for the $1.99. And hey, I'm not familiar. What's Christian Smalls? I mean, who is that?
I've got to look that up.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
No idea. Speaking of Sam Fisher, though, I did get to meet him the other weekend.
I just feel like I should know the name, though.
Christian Smalls is an American labor organizer known for his role in leading Amazon worker organization in Staten Island, a borough in New York City. He's the president and founder of the Amazon Labor Union since 2021.
okay.
I mean, I guess he could end it, I suppose.
I mean, yeah, that's sure. I mean, hey, folks out there, wrenches in the chat. Good to see you. Remember, you can swing a wrench, but please, in the chat, don't swing your okay.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's not this show. That's not this show. And Warrior Justice, I can't feel my legs, Stephen Hawking. I was having issues with my audio, or I would have even done the Stephen Hawking voice and the wah-wah-wahs, so I apologize. The one time it could come in handy. Yes. Then we got Troy Pacelli, who's been a member for 12 months. Happy anniversary.
What's up, Troy?
Awesome. Where was this 3 years ago? What do you mean 3 years ago? The show? We've been doing it now for like almost a year, I think.
Oh, at least a year.
At least
if
a
not
year.
Longer.
Yeah, so we're not quite 3 years, but we've been doing it for a while. We did do kind of precursors to this. We did a great interview with Bill Hunt. Gosh, 5 years ago now. We did have a Blu-ray show then that I was doing with Tim of the Digital Bits, but nobody really paid much attention to it. And at that time, digital media was really taking over. But no, with the resurgence of boutique labels and the companies realizing, hey, there's still some money in these funny little plastic discs. This show kind of emerged from the ashes, I guess you could call it, in a way, like a phoenix of sorts. But I got Greg with me, and of course VR and Mike, and once in a while we have Robert Meyer Burnett hop in. And speaking of Bill Hunt, I hope to have him back on again sometime soon. So yeah, and there's a lot of other people we've had on here and other people I want to get on here, talk all kinds of physical media. In fact, today's going to be a lot about that kind of a thing. Now, of course, it's always about physical media, but what I mean is the studio's realizing that they need to embrace physical media. But before we do that, we have a little bit we do every week where we bring you guys up to speed on what the news and rumors are for the last 2 weeks here now. Not a lot, actually. This is kind of the reason we didn't have a show last week, too, because there just wasn't a whole lot of new news. But here we go. For you guys interested, real quick. Hello and welcome to your 4K news and rumors for the week of August 30th, 2023. Here's your look at the Steelbook exclusive Walmart edition of the long-awaited RoboCop documentary, RoboDoc, the creation of RoboCop. You can get that on the 17th of October. It Came from Outer Space is getting a 4K Steelbook from Universal on the 2nd of October. Weird, the Yal Yankovic story is getting a US 4K release from Shout Factory on December 12th. The Muppets Take Manhattan bows on 4K on the 24th of October from Sony. That's the first Muppet film to make its way to 4K. The Wicker Man will be coming from Lionsgate on the 17th of October. There's a look at the Best Buy exclusive 4K. The new film The Meg 2 will be released on the 24th of October from Warner Brothers. A pair of holiday classics, Scrooged and Trading Places, will both be released on 4K on the 7th of November from Paramount. Bill Hunt has confirmed you can expect Snow White on 4K on October 10th of this year. Blue Beetle will be getting released on the 17th of October. There's a look at the Walmart exclusive Steelbook. Prey will also be getting released on 4K on the 3rd of October from Disney, aka 20th Century. Arrow has some excellent announcements coming up, including Tremors 2 on 4K on the 28th of November. You can also expect Barbarella that same day on 4K Blu-ray from Arrow Video. Now, there's some exclusive versions of the covers you can find at their site, so that is worth checking out. We will be getting a slew of Disney Plus shows in 4K. There's a look at all those there. You'll be expecting those on the 26th of September, the 28th of November, and the Mandalorian ones will both be coming on the 12th of December.
Nobody cares.
Charlie Barrick has got an announcement from Kino Lorber. No
Stop
date yet,
burying the
see
lead.
that in 4K. Few rumors.
I'm not
We
buying
have
them.
It coming to 4K. No info on that. Terminator is also getting rumored again for a 2024 release date. And JFK is also in the rumor mill for 4K. That's it, kids. See you on the show. Okay, I got us update real quick on JFK. That is more than a rumor now. Oliver Stone himself is where the rumor originated from, and I didn't know that because the Digital Bits was down earlier, and when it came back up, I finally was able to read the story. So yes, it comes from Oliver Stone himself. He expects it by the end of the year through Warner Brothers, which would make sense. This would probably fall in their anniversary purview. So there you go on that. There's an update. JFK is confirmed for sometime later this year. So there you go. So yeah, anything stick out to you guys on that list right offhand, aside from the lead Valiant that we're going to get into?
I actually didn't know anything about it, but I am totally down for RoboDoc.
You've never heard of this? Okay, so this is something these guys have been working on for years.
Nope.
I remember seeing the trailer for it. Gosh, way
That's
before
what,
I was even a YouTuber,
2017,
or at least in the Midnight's Edge group.
Does it go back that far?
At least, if not more. It's got to be more because that's about the time I joined Midnight's Edge. So at least in that, you're probably about right, Mike, somewhere in that area. But they've been working on it for years and years and years and years. So it got picked up by Screambox. Is that it, Greg?
Yes, Screambox. And
Screambox.
I tried to get an interview with the director. He told me he was going to come on in July or August, but he never got back to me. So
Bummer.
yeah.
But yeah, no, like those documentary guys are kind of weird like that. Because I had a good rapport with the guy who did the Fantastic Four documentary. We had it all lined up to do an interview, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do it." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Yeah, this is that time of year I get busy." Because he's a teacher, so like he has a whole nother job. So for him, it was just like, "Yeah, move along, kind of thing for his life, It was an interesting one that I didn't expect.
I really, look, if they do that right, of course the problem is that it was shot for television. It's 4:3. I loved that original 1990 adaptation on TV on ABC. I thought it was awesome.
Well, I still think it's superior, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually, but I actually think that it was actually shot on film.
It was shot 35 millimeter.
Yeah, it was shot on. Yeah, so it should look pretty good.
That's the question, though. Is that the way it was finished for television, right? So
the Blu-ray.
We kind of have an idea. We just got Battlestar Galactica this week. That was shot for television, and that's one of the first 4Ks that I know of outside of modern shows.
But I have it on Blu-ray.
It looks good.
It does, but what? Do they still have the original negative to which they can get the full frame from? And is the full frame actually viable? Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
As far as I can tell from that last Blu-ray we got, it was a pretty good scan of it, and that's the full frame one.
Well, no, but I meant like they framed it in television for 4:3, like we've talked about before. Can they go to the full 35 millimeter size? Because no, because we have boom mics in every shot.
Oh no, they won't probably give us a 1.8.5 version unless they crop it like the old DVD.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
No. See, what they did for this was like, if you go back, Valliant, when they released it on VHS years ago, the two tape set was always in the regular 4:3. Then when it came out on DVD, for some reason they cut out a bit in the second part, and they put it in 16:9 widescreen, so they cropped it off. But then when they brought out the Blu-ray, from my understanding, not only did they restore the scene that was missing, they also have the 4:3. So I think they went back to the negative for that Blu-ray, actually, Valliant, because that Blu-ray looks pretty good, from my recollection. It's not that old of a Blu-ray, so this is probably
you're talking about the one for it. Yeah, no,
yeah. So like when they brought that Blu-ray out, it was about the same time the new movie was coming out. So
yeah,
and they did restore it in a 4:3 aspect ratio. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I'm with Valin on that. I want that on 4K. I think that'd be.
As far as opening it up, no, I doubt it. Like you said, I don't think they'd be able to.
If they go to like a 16:9, it means it's going to be cropped down to 16:9 from the 4:3. Exactly. That's the caveat, right?
You have it depends. See, because now there's another one. Now I just thought of this. I got Project Elf, but I haven't been able to watch it all the way through. That's in one of those that was shot and must have been Super 35, like a lot of things are. Because there is a little bit more on the sides, but it does feel like they cropped a little bit off the top and bottom. So it's like a compromised version.
Yeah, that one's it's just framed differently.
Yeah, it's not like you're losing anything. Because even when it goes to the video shots, remind me, Mike, doesn't it go to 4:3 for the video shots? Or is it still in 16:9 for those? I can't remember.
Oh, I can't remember.
Because like in the first 10 minutes of the movie, they do this like really hilarious thing of like getting you up to speed with what they've been doing with Elf since he got caught at the end of the series.
Because they
were putting him through tests, and it's on like a video reel like thing. Yeah,
because I have the DVD of that, and I compared the two, and it's just a different.
Yeah, they just opened up the mat, and like what Valiant's talking, they must not have had anything on the sides that compromised the picture, because in this case, you're not actually losing anything. But I think there's just a smite of a smidge at the bottom. You might be losing a little bit. So I think I remember seeing Elf's feet a little bit more in the one shot than on the 16:9. But like you said, it does open it up on the sides to where there's more stuff on the sides. But it's not like they framed it for that, so you're not really missing or gaining anything either way, I guess, is the way to put it there.
Nice.
They tried to do that for Star Trek, but like Robert said, when they opened up the mat, you could see all the shit on the sides, like the seams of the sets, and stuff like that. And sometimes they had boom mics and stuff off to the left and right. And they said that would be too much for them. But see, now I wonder with AI, because I saw that somebody was messing around with Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. And they did it. They did a horrible thing. They formatted it to 4:3.
You bastards.
They called it the IMAX version. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, no, I don't like this. But what I could see this useful for is for taking shows that were shot in 4:3, and when they do upgrade them to HD, fill them out for the 16:9 frame by using this AI technology, because it looked really good for Indiana Jones, because it's just filling out things on the left and right, and it's just calculating, from what was there, what's not there, and then it just kind of adds it in. So it's not really having to do a lot of work, I guess, is the way to put it. It's just filling in the blanks of sorts, and it has stuff prior to and afterwards usually to go by. So it's kind of the same kind of technology that fixes a lot of scratches and breaks in films now. If you think about it, it's just a upgraded version of that in a way. I think it could be useful for the future. Now, you can question whether or not it's the right thing to do because of the cinematography and the director's choices at the time. But when we live in a world where everything's 16:9 now and on the televisions, but at the same time now everybody watches their phones in that long view. So I hate that when people shoot that. Now it's like the new format with TikTok and stupid shorts, but
it's so gay.
It is gay. But anyway, anything else stick out for you guys besides it?
Tremors 2 Aftershocks on 4K.
Yeah, that's an oddball. I can't say this is the first straight to video film we've gotten in 4K because I think that would go to like either Puppet Master 3 or something else I'm sure we've gotten at this point.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see how it upgrades because I know it was shot on film, but it was shot for video.
Well, I think it was originally meant for theatrical release.
You sure?
No, I think so. And then they decided to release it on video.
See, because like it and some other ones I know that were like TV movies and stuff like that and shot for video movies, they would usually release in other countries in theaters. But I don't know. I thought Tremors 2 was always meant to be a straight to video feature, but I could be wrong.
Tremors 3 and 4 were meant for video.
Obviously.
I think they were shot back to back.
Very much.
Yeah, they were shot back to back, but I'm pretty sure 2 was meant for theatrical and they just didn't do it.
We'll see. I'm sure it's going to look fine. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
I'm curious how it'll. Yeah, I don't know how they shot it though. If they shot it for more of a 16:9 picture or not, because isn't the Blu-ray in 16:9?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I just watched that not too long ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I do like Tremors 2. After that, they get a little hit and miss, but
Tremors 2 is really good.
Decent.
It was surprising for the time. Valliant, anything stick out to you on there?
I mean, like I said before, it great. RoboDoc, I'm interested in that. I am so excited. Like, where's my 4K release of Book of Boba Fett, bro?
God dang it! Stop bearing the lead.
I'm not bearing the lead. I'm bringing the lead up
now. It's coming. We got a super chat for it and everything.
I'm teasing the lead. Yeah. I'm not burying the motherfucker.
Okay. All right. Mike, anything you're looking forward to?
The Wicker Man Steelbook.
Yeah.
Which I believe is going to be a Best Buy exclusive.
That one is, yeah. But I'm sure it'll be elsewhere, but yeah. Just a standard edition.
I actually had already pre-ordered the Studio Canal, like 5-disc version from overseas. Yeah, but I canceled that and just went ahead and got the Lionsgate one. I just can't justify paying.
Is there a bunch of, as I say, is there actually any extra features on it? Or
yeah, but I have 3 copies of The Wicker Man already on Blu-ray. So I have all the.
So you probably have them all
already.
Okay, yeah.
What the biggest difference is that the Studio Canal version has 3 different cuts of the film, whereas the Lionsgate version only has the final cut. The last version released. That's the big difference. And there's special features that were specific for the older cuts of the film that aren't included on the Lionsgate release.
Gotcha.
Like there's an audio commentary with Christopher Lee and the writer of the film that's not included on the Lionsgate release because it was recorded for a different cut of the film. So,
but honestly, full disclosure, I've never seen it, and
great film.
I've heard a lot of. I know a lot. Like, I mean, of course, I've seen plenty of clips of the bees, not the bees. The Nick Cage remake, but yeah. No, I'm well aware of it. I know what it is. I've seen tons of scenes of it, just never seen it all.
It's one of the great British horror films, and I just couldn't justify paying $60 more for the UK version. So
the UK version, Dr. Coffin Nails, has 3 versions. I guess I'm assuming only the final cut is the 4K version. Is probably the same kind of gimmick over there too.
No,
is it all 3 versions? In 4K?
Think all 3 versions have 4K. Plus, it came with a soundtrack of newly recorded versions of music from the film.
Interesting. All right.
Like I said, I just couldn't justify paying the difference.
I see. Well, with that, let's get back into some of these super chats here. We've got Hitchhiker 42 who says, if one TV maker put 3D in an OLED TV, I'd buy it. You know what's sad is I don't even think it'd be that hard for them to implement it, but they just won't. I don't know why. Probably because they don't want to have to deal with glasses, but they can do passive 3D now. It's so stupid. Dash Attack says, I was talking about Maddo wanted this when Gina got axed so it can remain pure.
He's talking about Mando.
Okay.
Yeah. Warrior Justice says, I thought you said Robocock and it came on my face. Oh. You should go see the remake RoboCop movie where they have him shooting like everybody's dick.
Oh God!
Have you ever seen that?
Yes, you sent it to me. You sent it to me like 2 years ago. I fucked with a lot
of people with that. I'm like, here, did you ever see this deleted scene from RoboCop? Because it looks so good. And you're like, wait a minute.
Stop laughing.
What the hell is going on here? This can't be real. That's about the fifth dick.
Was
like, no way.
That was one of the most brilliant things I've ever seen.
RoboCop shoots like 100 dicks off.
God, it was so good.
Oh, Tom sent me that, and I was like, what the hell is
That's
this?
actually a part of a much larger thing. Like, people would just, like, a bunch of filmmakers sent in their scenes from RoboCop, and they all cut it together as one movie. So I can't remember who did that part, but like, yeah, that was their contribution. It was all just, that's the only time it really goes off the rails, I guess, from my memory. The rest of it's kind of like, oh yeah, that's cool. But yeah, that was like the piece of resistance. Then Eldritch Lord Haster has been a member for 24 months, just on the cusp of 2 years. Thank you so much for the support. And Troy Pacelli will get us into the main topic here. He goes, I don't know about Too Little Too Late, but it's definitely a mixed bag. So yeah, that's the main topic today, as I have a nice little icon there to go with it. Is it too little too late? We got a recent announcement that Disney was going to quit releasing home media in Australia. I don't know. Yeah. And like the next week after, just a few days ago, we get news that out of nowhere that we're getting a bunch of Disney Plus shows in 4K, no less, and Prey on 4K. Now, Valiant, this comes on the heels of just endless bad news for Disney.
Good Lord.
After bad news, after bad news, after bad news.
No.
Good Lord.
Somebody was going to say something. Go ahead.
Well, I thought a couple of investor calls ago that going back to physical media was kind of a thing that Disney was interested in getting back to.
Yeah, they said that, but they didn't really prove it outside of giving us Cinderella and the rumors for Snow White.
Doesn't the announcements of Prey and these 4 shows kind of...
Sort of. I mean, you're not wrong. I'm not going to say you're wrong on that. But I guess the bigger debate here to be had is why I put it in the title, and that is it too little too late? And on the other side of this, Valiant said it brilliantly earlier. Does anybody give a shit? Right? Like, okay, Prey is one thing. Like, I'm gonna leave that one out of this. But when it comes to these, I don't know about these, because the weird thing is the order they got them in here is not the order they're being released. They're releasing Loki first, and I'm sure you guys can tell why, because that was the most popular of all the Marvel series.
Well, that's
quote unquote.
Season 2 is also coming right around the time.
That too, same time, so it's all planned perfectly. Then WandaVision's coming.
I can't believe they greenlit a season 2. That was the most boring damn show I have ever watched. When I tell you, that show ended the MCU for me on Disney Plus. I had to force myself to get through that show. It was so horrible. And the biggest crime, of course, was that you took a guy like Tom Hiddleston and you made him suck. Because of the script he was given and the show he was given. It made me hate watching him. Fuck that show. Sorry.
It was boring. I quit watching after the first episode. Now, the Mando is a funky one, though, because the first 2 seasons I could see people wanting. In fact, they were probably some of the most bootlegged shows ever on Blu-ray. I mean, I know tons of people who have bootleg versions of Mandalorian on disc. So that one I think is kind of a wild card. But then again, after season 3 now, does anybody care? Like, that's my thing, is like, I'm not trying to be a dick and dump on Disney, because I'm glad they're doing this, right? This is a good thing.
Sure.
But is it going to be the wrong thing, right? Like, is this even going to bother selling for them? That's my question. Is it going to send them the wrong signal? Now, Prey, I think, is going to do very well. So that's why I think that one should be kind of left aside. But I don't know about these. What do you guys think, Valliant? You sound like you had a point of view on it.
I don't think they're going to do terribly well. These are not shows that, frankly, have aged well. And they're so far removed from their popularity. We have seen recently, like with Ahsoka, I mean, abysmal ratings for Ahsoka. I mean, Ahsoka is giving Andor a run for its money when it comes to bad ratings, bad viewership. But the problem is that does anybody really care about going back and spending, what, $50, $60 for these sets of things like WandaVision? The people that really would want this already have Disney Plus. They don't care. This is not the kind of physical media that's going to move the needle. I hate to say it. Even look, when Netflix puts out things like Stranger Things season 1 and 2, they don't sell a lot of that. Everybody has Netflix. Now maybe when you put out something like a feature film, like All Quiet on the Western Front, yes, I gobbled that one up because it was a phenomenal film, and I wanted a physical copy of it to get the most out of it as possible.
Right.
I don't care about these cannon fodder, meat grinder, run-of-the-mill, average at best TV shows like this. I haven't even cared anymore about even upgrading the Marvel library that I did have all the way up through 2019 to 4K. Just don't care.
Yeah, I've only done a select few, and that's ones that I found cheap,
Me
like
too.
The Incredible Hulk. Like, I got for like $10, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if I saw Iron Man, I'd grab it.
Yeah, Iron Man. I would take Doctor Strange.
I already have the 3D, so
Civil
I don't need
War, and maybe
3D,
Winter
don't need
Soldier.
like anything after they started doing 3D, I wouldn't bother, because then the other problem with that is they stopped shooting on film fairly early on too. Because they start looking like crap after that. Because I have the 4Ks of some of them that came in like certain sets, and I don't think that the 4K of No Way Home or Guardians of the Galaxy 2, for instance, look all that great. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is okay, but I don't know if they did that as a 2K interpositive or if that was finished in 4K or not. I have to look, but they're getting better, but it still has this dingy, almost shot for television look to it because of the digital cameras they're using. Mm-hmm. And again, it's the same thing here. Outside of Mandalorian, I really don't see a reason why I would want these in my collection at this point. I would have if the Marvel Universe was still kicking ass.
Right.
There's a level of apathy there where you just go, never mind.
Well, if these shows were any good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's my problem, right? Like, I hate sounding like a dick. I hate sounding like I'm bitching, but it's like, you know what? You got a whole fuck ton of, pardon my French, fuck ton of Fox titles you're just sitting on.
Oh, yeah.
Where's Die Hard 2? Where's Die Hard 3? Where's Aliens? Where's Alien 3? Come on. What the hell are you doing? Where's all the famous Fox stuff? We don't even have Sound of Music in 4K yet.
Exactly. This is the conundrum because, like you said, I'm happy that they're releasing things on physical media, but I don't give a crap. I don't give 2 cents about these at all. And I'm not buying Prey either because I didn't care for it. But it's like we got tons of Fox movies. You got the Hollywood pictures. You got the Touchstone pictures that they never release and hold back. Give us some of that physical media.
We don't even have Encino Man on Blu-ray.
You would think Encino Man, that would be perfect. 2 Oscar winners in that movie. It's a very popular movie. It's still only on DVD. No, not even a Blu-ray. And they
you can
can't
get
even
digital HD, but it's really piss poor quality.
Yeah. Is it too little too late, or is it just out of desperation they release these in hopes? But like Valiant said, most of the people that's going to want to see these already have Disney Plus, and they're just going to stay with Disney Plus. They're not going to pay $60 for a steelbook of WandaVision or Loki.
Here's Jed bringing up a great point. They've got the X-Files.
Exactly.
Why aren't they trying to prep that for a 4K release?
They don't know. Look, Disney does not care about this Fox acquisition. This is Bob Iger's typical bullcrap, right? It's all about headlines and legacy.
Exactly.
It's look, we got Fox. We now have Fox. We spent $70 billion. What you gonna do with it, Bob? Nothing.
Right.
In fact, the most
but we got
the
Fox.
thing that everybody relates to it, you can't call it Fox. It's not Fox anymore. We're getting rid of that. No. It's 20th Century Pictures.
Right.
Way to make it sound out of date.
You know what it reminds me of, for any wrestling fans out there? It reminds me of when Vince McMahon bought the WCW and just shelved it. That's it. That's all he really wanted it for.
It's almost as bad as when they had to change WWF to WWE, and it was for
Right.
stupid fucking reasons, at least for their side of it. They fought that. No. This was their choice. And they said flat out the reason why they wanted to get rid of the Fox name. They probably could have fought for it.
Mhm.
And by all rights, they should have had it. Like, if I'm spending $70 billion on 20th Century Fox, I expect the Fox to come with it.
Right.
You can change Fox Network to something else. Sorry, Fox Sports, you're going to be something else. Sorry, Fox News, you're going to be News Corp now. Right? You're going to be whatever the fuck Murdoch comes up with, because I am taking the most, known thing about your title. Nobody calls it 20th Century shit. Everybody refers to it as Fox. You just listen to Valliant refer to it for the last 5 minutes as Fox. That's my point. Nobody thinks about it any other way. No matter what you associate Fox with on television, it has been more associated with films for 100 fucking years, right? 100 years. You can't take that away from that. That is one of the most well-known logos in history. The most well-known, like, they haven't changed the bump, 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 bump. And how long? Because why? Because it's the most known one out there. Like,
It's
as a
iconic.
kid, when I heard that noise, I come running in the room thinking Star Wars was on, and I was disappointed most of the time when it wasn't.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, sometimes it'd be something cool, but like, oh, it's not Star Wars, never mind. Like,
Yep.
They clearly only wanted a handful of titles from Fox, and which handful they wanted, as far as like the Marvel stuff.
Yeah, they wanted their Marvel characters back, and they wanted all the Star Wars movies under.
Yeah, that's just what they wanted under there, and then like they shoved the rest. So it's just, this is why I just cannot support these releases. I'm happy. I hope they release more physical media, but I just can't. I just can't with this. That's it's bizarre, and now this makes me wonder about that steelbook of WandaVision. That's a company that was making that was not going to have anything in it. Now I wonder if maybe they knew ahead of time that these were coming in. They were making their own steelbook, so that if people wanted to buy these and to buy that.
Well, not only that, weren't they out of Australia?
They're coming from like Japan or somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's an actual officially licensed Disney product, but it's not from the physical media department, whatever that's called, the distribution.
Oh, I thought that was connected to the Australia thing. I thought that's how everybody found out that they weren't going to be releasing discs in Australia anymore.
With Australia, they said after Guardians 3, after they released that was going to be their last release.
Well, what's stupid about those steelbooks is you don't even get like a digital code or anything with it. Like, what is the fucking point? I don't get it. It's like you're emulating having physical media, but not actually having physical media. That was dumb.
It's
okay.
dumb.
But this, again, I'm with you, Greg, 100%. I'm glad they're doing it, but it's for the wrong reasons. And as far as maybe it being a little too late, okay, that's clickbaity, but how else was I supposed to put this? I mean, I feel like they're just going to use this as an excuse to say, see, this is why we don't do physical media. That's what I'm afraid of most.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Star Wars will sell just fine.
You might be right, Mike, but there's quite a few people in the audience already who are saying they're not going to buy it, and they have the bootlegs and shit too. So.
That's true, but historically, Star Wars has always sold well on home video.
Even The Last Jedi?
Yeah.
Really?
Star Wars fans gobble it up.
The Last Jedi also had the advantage of being one of the first true 4K movies ever released too.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I could see the Mandalorian season doing pretty well. The Marvel shows, I don't know. I personally, I think the only good Marvel content that's come out of Disney Plus was a few episodes of the animated What If show. So I don't know. The Marvel stuff, I don't know. But Mandalorian, I think it'll sell.
I hope you're right. And the beauty of the Mandalorian season 1 and 2 is you can kind of figure the end of season 2 is the capper. It's the end of the fucking show.
Oh yeah,
right. That is enough of an ending that you're like, okay, that's good enough. I'm done.
Yep, totally agree.
Yeah, it's true. It's it can just stop there. So yeah, I could probably see the Mandalorians doing well, but and Prey, I could see Prey doing well, even though I have no interest in that.
Now, if the Mandalorian doesn't sell well, that's really good. That's really bad.
That's what I'm worried about, is none of them doing well outside of Prey and Disney being like, yep, see, this is why we don't release TV shows or physical media anymore. Yeah, Prey did well, but that was also on Hulu, you know, so they'll come, you know what I mean? Like they'll hedge it with every excuse they can. But yeah, Prey is at least getting a 4K standard and steelbook release. This might be one I pick up just because I'm
and a lot of good features too. They're not just dumping this without any features either. This has got good making of stuff and an audio commentary from the director and all kinds of stuff.
And that's what they need to start doing. Is like, okay, great, we get these digital movies, but that's why we used to. Part of the reason we used to buy physical media too was to get the best benefit, the best quality, but also the special features. And that's one thing I hope they pay attention to a little bit more, because that's something that's getting lost more and more so. And something I bitched about recently with, like Enter the Dragon, which is going to come up later on tonight on Greg's show. And also,
The Exorcist.
The Exorcist coming up. Thank you, Mike. I was just trying to think of it and which I guess you can get the $80 version of it now on Amazon. I did pre-order it, but only because I got the book that comes, like the only difference between that and the other one was like the box that it comes in, and the other one comes with this book, and I bought it separately. So I'm like, I guess I don't really need it now. So like all I'm really losing out on is the purple box that came in or whatever, that looks like a Bible or whatever, which is kind of cool. I do like that, but
yeah.
But no, that being said, okay, now that's great, Disney. Now give us some classics. Now we keep hearing rumors that we're going to get Aliens, and Abyss, and a couple other things, but when? We haven't got any solid dates yet. I want to see these movies too, just as much as everybody else, especially Aliens, for instance, is something I'd really love to have in 4K. But they got to do it. They got to get them out there. So yeah, I don't know what you guys have anything more to say about that. Go ahead.
I'm just not buying them. I can't. That's my conundrum. Honestly, that is my conundrum. Like you're saying, is like this may send a message to Disney for people not buying them that this way, because we want the physical media. They're giving us physical media, but people like us that are the collectors, we don't want them. We don't want those. Like you said, you mentioned all those, so we won't buy those. So that's the conundrum. That is the conundrum we're in, and it's like, what do you do?
I know. Well, I can tell you what they could do.
I'm actually really happy they're putting Prey. I actually like Prey quite a bit, so I'm happy they're finally.
I'm sure Prey will be the best selling of the bunch. Honestly,
this is what they could do. This is what they could do. This is what they could do, because they're getting killed in the fan market right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have actual 4K versions of the original Star Wars films.
Yep. And
unaltered.
They're pretty darn good too.
These are not they're not the 4K 80 and the other ones, but they are the 4K 77, 80, and 83, but they are from sources similar to. That's all I can say. The person who sent them to me, actually that's not true. Return of the Jedi is. But yeah, no, they look really, really good. 80 is the only one that's still kind of needing, some more love. I wish I could find you a way to get those Wolfwood. Sorry, not Wolfhound. But a fan sent them to me. So you're just going to have to find them online in various eBays and other places people are selling them and doing them. But yeah, no, this guy sent it to me. They even have, he works in a facility where he was able to print them right on the disc. So it's like a real disc. It's not even a sticker. It's like a real disc. And he has a Blu-ray in here too that actually looks pretty good too, actually. So yeah, no, I mean, it's possible. People can do it. You got to get ahead of the fans, dude. You got to get ahead. You can't.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't do this shit, or you're gonna lose out. Let's see what the audience is saying. Sergeant Point Blank says, "What about Color of Money or Gross Point Blank UHD?" Well, you know, Color of Money, I could see him doing. Gross Point Blank, I don't know.
Doubtful. Yeah. I don't see Gross Point Blank.
No. Plus, Cusack's a dick now. He blocked me on Twitter. Nelson Shrita says Pauly Shore won an Oscar. Who knew? I know, right? It was for Weasel, the Pauly Shore story. I'm not just a comedian. No, you got, of course, more recently, what's his face? Just
Q Quan
and
Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got Dearest here who says, when Disney bought Fox, they quickly releasing hardcover collections of Predator and Aliens and then put out new comics. Film, TV, IP get ignored. Yeah, I mean, I understand James Cameron being a hurdle in certain things, but it's like, why don't we have a Die Hard box set?
Right.
Why, like...
Now, to be fair, Predator did get... Those films did get...
But those were before Disney.
Right. I mean,
and they're some of the worst 4Ks I've ever seen, and it's because they're not even from the negatives; they're from inner positives. That's why. But yeah,
and it's like they said, like there was a complete Predator Aliens anime that was done. Disney shoved it and will never release it.
The first Predator might be from the negative, but I know the second one is definitely not from the negative, and I don't know about the rest of them. I didn't watch them. But yeah, that was a Fox box set before Disney bought them, and Fox was in the process of doing the Die Hards, but I can't remember how good the first Die Hard one is, but I have them digitally, and Die Hard 2, 3, and whatever else are definitely not from the negatives, because Die Hard with a Vengeance looks like dog shit, and so does the second one. I tried watching it this last year for Christmas, and I shut it off. I'm like, that's looking worse than my Blu-ray. Fuck this. But anyway, those were from early days of 4K scanning, though, too, I'm sure. So, but with that, was there anything that you guys brought on that you wanted to discuss that you recently got? Any new movies? Mike, let's start with you. Anything new this week or since we've last talked?
Well, like you, I just got the 79 Battlestar Galactica movie in the mail today. I'm going to plan on watching that tonight. Been waiting for watch that on 4K for a while. I also got Gorgo from Vinegar Syndrome yesterday, so I'm looking forward to that one too. That's always been a kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. So
yeah, I don't want to disappoint anybody with Battlestar Galactica, but the Steelbook looks okay. That's cool, but if you buy the regular version, that's generally priced more to where I would say this lies as far as, because I don't know if this is an older scan, they just didn't have the negatives. What, it is not the best looking 4K Blu-ray. It's, I watched about 10 minutes of it and I'm like, and they have the weird setup with the 2.1 surround sound because they had the Sense surround for that movie.
Yep, Sense surround.
It's set in 5.1 for some reason. Yeah, I don't get it. It says it's 2.1, but it comes through my system as 5.1. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me. So I don't know if anybody else has that same issue or if that's just the way it was coded or.
I can't remember. I think Sense Round might be 4.1. I can't remember.
It says 2.1 on this one, though, so I have no idea. Yeah, you're right. The original Sense Surround was supposed to be 4 channels. Yeah. It was 2 front channels and 2 surround channels, I believe. Or no, 2 left, right, front, and then rear channels. All were the same mono, but you could have however many you wanted, depending on the setup or whatever it was. I can't remember. It was horrible setup, and they fixed it with Dolby anyway, so.
And I might even make it a double feature and watch the Buck Rogers movie that was released just before the Battlestar Galactica one tonight, too.
I just bring it up because I somehow, for some reason, and the Blu-ray's in that set, and I could have threw it in and checked, but I could have swore the old Blu-ray I had both versions of the soundtrack on it, like a new 5.1 mix and the original 2.0 mix or whatever.
Yeah, I don't recall.
I don't either. But all right. Anyway. So hopefully you do enjoy your presentation of that. Of course, it does look, probably the best it's ever going to look. But Greg, anything new you got that you've haven't talked about yet?
Be bringing it on the show tonight, and like you brought up about special features, this one that's why I waited a little bit, but I got the Highwaymen starring Jim Caviezel and Rona Mitra from it's on Blu-ray from Scream Factory. It's always been a favorite of mine. It's from the director of The Hitcher. It looks pretty good, and it's a good movie. I think it's underrated, and some of that's lacking in special features. That's one of the things that's been starting to upset me about Scream and Shot Factory, certain movies like that, like with Flashback when we got with Dennis Hopper and them, there was no special features on it, and they're charging you like $25. So yeah, that's something I'll talk about. That's a pretty good movie. If you've never seen that, I do recommend that one.
All right, Valiant, are you back yet? Okay, he stepped away. So while he stepped away, I'm going to do mine. Now, these are ones I talked about last week on Greg's show, and I didn't get to talk about them on 4K for you, so I'm going to bring them up now. But we finally got the rest of the Chucky series from Scream Factory, or Shout Factory, whatever you want to call them. So In Bride of Chucky looks amazing, and I was glad that it lived up to my expectations on that as far as that goes. A couple new special features, but nothing to really write home about. But this one of all of them is definitely worth the upgrade. And then, of course, you got Seed of Chucky, which you definitely have to be a fan of. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I understand it's one of those things. But, of course, I have the original. And these, I got the big old box set with both of the slip covers and the posters and the pins and all that business. Now, the part of the reason I wanted to bring it up besides those movies, because, yeah, those are cool to have, especially if not Bride of Chucky for some fans like yourself, Greg. But I was really curious to see how these two were going to upgrade because they were shot 2K digitally and 2K interpositive and all that business. So I'm like, I was afraid they were going to look like a lot of the Marvel movies and stuff I was talking about earlier. I was amazed how much better these movies looked in 4K than they looked on the Blu-ray. There's a lot more resolution, detail. The lighting is so much better. In fact, I think when I brought this up on the show last week, like you have this one shot earlier on in the Curse of Chucky where you have Nika's mom. She's doing a paint. It's all blurry behind her. You can't really tell what's going on behind her. But on the 4K, you can see it's a wall and you can actually define it and make it out and stuff like that, to where compared to the Blu-ray, it's just a bunch of smudge of just digital background noise. So like that's kind of a thing, is a big upgrade. Again, it all depends on your taste, on whether you like the films or not, but I was actually very impressed on how much how much the picture looked better than the old Blu-ray versions. So there you go. On that's those new ones I brought in. Besides that, I got one that I'm going to bring up later that I thought actually they did a very good job on. I wanted to bring up Creep Show. I thought it looked amazing in 4K. Now it has its limitations due to some of the special effects they use to make it look all comic booky and stuff like that. So those scenes suffer from age and have, a lot of artifacting and issues on them, or not artifacting, but scratching and stuff like that, scratches and film dots and everything like that, whatever you want to call them. But yeah,
dirt and stuff.
Yeah, I was quite happy with the Creep Show 4K myself.
Yeah, I was really impressed with it. The only sad part is they still have not, for some reason, brought over Just Desserts the making of. Don't know why.
Just go buy the Blu-ray of it,
I guess.
Michael Felsher would appreciate it a lot. I'm
sure he would. But with that, Valiant, are you back yet? Valiant, are you okay? Are you okay, Valiant?
You okay? Man, that song's been popping up everywhere here lately. I've seen it everywhere. You've been struck by, you've been hit by.
Give me no.
Well, I did also, if you want to know, I also did watch Frankenhooker that I'll bring on tonight. So.
It's not as cool without the original cover.
No, because you missed the whole little press the button and everything.
Yeah, we all did that in the fucking video store.
Yeah.
If any of you out there have never seen Frankenhooker, do yourself a favor and watch it some night.
Oh, definitely.
I don't know if I have that one on Blu-ray.
Yeah, pick up either the Arrow or Synapse copies, either one.
Yeah, this Synapse one is pretty darn good.
Y'all need to do one in the original video cover.
Right?
I'd pay like $30-$40 for that.
I would too. I'd be pressing it all day.
Just put the disc in the cover. I don't give a shit. It can be the same disc. Just
in fact, y'all just need to go out and buy all of Frank Henenlotter's.
What was his other ones? Remind me again.
The Basket Case movie.
Yeah, the Basket
Brain
Case.
Damage.
Yeah.
Brain Damage is great.
Basket Case actually has a 4K master, if I'm not mistaken. They just haven't released it in 4K yet. So I think they did its 4K scan for the last 2K release, and it looks really good, considering I think it's shot 16 millimeter too. I have to revisit it, but from my recollection, it looked really good.
Yeah, I can highly recommend Arrow's release of Brain Damage on Blu-ray too. It's a great disc.
Oh yeah, I got that one. Did they do that one in 4K yet, or which one did?
I heard that was coming. Brain Damage was
maybe that's
4K.
one that's coming.
No.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that and Street
From
Trash.
Beyond is what I was thinking. I'm sorry.
Yeah, From Beyond was.
That was one I got mixed up with. Okay.
Oh, From Beyond's coming on 4K. Yeah.
That already got. I already have it, I think. Yeah. But I also bought that big set thing that I got from Vinegar Syndrome. But anyhow, I think we lost Valliant. Hopefully everything's okay, because we got a BRB with a lot of exclamation points, so that's usually not a good sign. People are asking about Ferris Bueller's. We talked about that, I think, the last show. It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
But I'll have a few to talk about tonight that I think you guys will be interested in. So join us tonight on Greg's program where we talk about physical media.
Yes. And you've already seen a couple of my picks I have for tonight, so.
Yes.
But I'll expand on them.
Same here. But I have a nice big old box set that I'm going to show off tonight. So stay tuned.
Whoa, big old what?
Wow.
Show it off.
That should be a hint. Wow. Yes.
Yes. Well, you do have some super chats if you want to get to.
Oh, we do have a couple more. I thought I got them all. That's my bad. We've got Primark Vulcan, who says, "Are we ever going to get a 4K version or director's cut, a special edition of Aliens and Alien and Aliens?" In my honest opinion, they are the really good version. Well, you already have Alien; it's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great disc too.
Aliens, we've been waiting on. Supposedly, James Cameron has signed off on it, but we're just waiting on a release date. It could be that in the meantime, Disney's prepping the other films as well to get them ready for a box set. I wouldn't be surprised. And when's the next anniversary of the first or second film? We're a few years off from 86, and 79 would be.
Sorry,
when's
I'm
the
back.
next? When's the next numerical? No problem. When's the next numerical anniversary of 79? It would be what? 2024.
29 will be the 50th anniversary.
Well,
50th, but
45th anniversary
would be next year, right? Okay,
45th.
so we'll probably get. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get a 45th anniversary box set next year. Don't mark my words, but I would not be surprised. And you get all 4 or 5 or whatever of the Alien films, 6 of them, whatever the hell they are anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last 2 are already in 4K anyway, aren't they? Or Prometheus? Did they ever do Prometheus in 4K?
Yeah, Prometheus is in 4K.
I wasn't sure. I know I have the 3D one, so I don't give a shit. But yeah, and not that I would want to watch it anyway. I'm waiting for his extra special edition cut of that too, Ridley Scott's. So yeah, Primark. I'd imagine they're coming soon. Sorry, go ahead, Greg.
No, I was just thinking all his multiple cuts of films. I
know, right?
Yeah.
Sergeant Point Blank says, "I got Brotherhood of the Wolf in 4K. Oh my effing god, dudes!
Yes,
oh, yeah.
That is a good one. That is a good one.
I haven't got that one yet. Wolfwood says Vanishing Point could look good in 4K. Didn't they do that one already? I thought.
Is that the one with the guy from Lord of the Rings?
Vanishing Point, I don't recall getting a 4K release. I could be
wrong. I might be thinking of something. I might be thinking of.
What is Vanishing Point? That sounds. I can't remember that one. Sounds familiar. From 1971, right?
Yeah, this is not the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, that's
1971.
I think I was thinking of the remake. Wasn't there a remake with like Kurt Russell or something like that? What am I thinking of?
You're thinking of Death Proof.
No.
Because no, you are
Yeah,
because the car in
No.
Death Proof that the girls are looking at is the exact same make and model of the car from Vanishing
You're
Point.
thinking of the one I was thinking of, one with Viggo Mortensen and Jason Priestley, 1997 Vanishing Point. It's got Keith David.
When you said Lord of the Rings guy, I was thinking, wait, Viggo Mortensen?
Yeah, Viggo. That's what I meant. Viggo.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I remember that one. So that I do remember. But I know what you're saying though, Mike, about that. But I was thinking of a totally different movie on top of it all. So yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what I was thinking of. And I'm sure I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, no, it hasn't. It's totally wrong. But like, yeah. Anyway, who gives a shit? Breakdown. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh yeah, with Kurt Russell.
For some reason, I got it. Yeah,
Breakdown's a good flick.
Yeah, for some reason, I thought that was. I don't know why. But Primark Vulcan also says, I thought the Alien 4K was theatrical cut only. No, I'm pretty sure you can watch both versions on that disc.
It's got the
seamless branching or
2000
whatever.
director's cut on it too.
Yeah, and the big difference, I think, is the color timing, besides the couple scenes that are changed around. I prefer the theatrical cut, really. I didn't see the reason for the other version. It's just kind of...
The only reason to really watch the director's cut is just for the differences between the two. I mean, that's about it. It's kind of interesting to watch, but it's never been my go-to version of that movie.
Right. All right. So Valiant, now that you're back, we all did our 4K picks for the week. Is there anything that you've gotten to watch since the last time we talked that you wanted to talk about?
Well, let's see. Hackers.
I did get the steelbook of that in the mail, but I haven't watched it yet.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Weird Science.
I got Weird Science as well.
They all look just great.
What the fuck is with Arrow and these rubber feeling fucking covers? Did you get that one too?
I got that one. I like it. It's
I don't know if I like it yet.
That satin feel to it. Especially like, look, check this out. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, let me get the camera going here.
Because I got the old steelbook and I might just swap it out.
So here it is. What's nice is that it's a very smooth cover, and when you touch it, it feels really good.
You're in like 480p, by the way.
In the hand. Yeah.
Is it me, or is like does it get a little pointy there?
Weird Science.
Yeah, something.
I started watching the TV cut of that. I'm like, why is half this shit cut out? Like, it makes no sense.
Oh, that's one of those. You cannot TV edit this movie. Hey, Lisa, come on, bro. We're going to go home.
Well, no, like in the beginning of the movie,
by
like
today's standards, one of the most, quote unquote, by today's standards, one of the most racist scenes ever in movie history. Well, that's
not even the stuff they worry about cutting out. They cut out some of the other dumbest shit that's even like somewhat like the first line in the movie is like, we need to get these chicks, go out for some dancing, and then bang, like whatever. And then like in the other version, they changed the word bang. It's like he's not even talking about sex at that point. He's just what the fuck? Like, and there's a bunch of other shit that's like cut out right away in the first 10-15 minutes, and I'm just like, oh my god, we were such prudes in the 80s, but yet you could say words like FAG or
oh, look, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. The worst thing by today's standards said in there is FAGS.
Yeah, when they hug each other.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that Ed Sullivan says he would change
so
besides
funny.
The 69 joke, even though he's like, yeah, it's popular, but he's like, that was not a joke we put in the script. He's like, that was those guys on the day. But yeah. He's like, our original thing in the script was what they do in the second film, where he's like, how many fingers am I holding up?
Oh man,
because it's stupid. Like, that's the whole point. Is it's not, you could fool somebody by doing it. That's like the whole joke, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But it seems to work better in the second film anyway. So, but anyhow, 69, dude, will be forever
69
known.
dudes.
Whoa,
works better anyways.
Strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
This is non
heinous. I got a glow in the dark.
There's something we need 4K of. I
know, right? I got it. Speaking of, I got a glow in the dark Grim Reaper doll figure in the mail like a week ago, and I set it up on a shelf, and I forgot it was glow in the dark, and I scared the shit out of myself. I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
I would love to see that.
Because it's like weird because his head's glowing, his hands are glowing, but like his body's glowing underneath his robe. So it was like this weird, like fudgy thing in the corner of the room. And when you're like in the dark, you're like, what the hell is that? Like, it's like alien eyes or some shit. And I get close up, and I'm like, oh, it's the Grim Reaper, dude.
You have Melvined me.
Did I scare you?
You have Melvined me.
I'm sorry. They Melvined me. John Evan Bear says, do you need a 4K TV and 4K player, or is a 4K Blu-ray player enough to play 4K movies? Well, if you want to see them in true 4K, yes to the first part. To the latter part, as long as you have a 4K Blu-ray player, you can still watch them. And you'll notice a very small, maybe somewhat discernible difference between a Blu-ray and a 4K on a standard TV. But to get the full quality and full potential of what a 4K Blu-ray can give you, you will need a 4K TV or monitor or whatever.
Yep.
Yes.
And preferably with UHD, yes. UHD does make a big difference in a lot of cases.
TVs are, unfortunately, folks, they're one of those things that you really need to get the newer stuff, get it new, get the latest, because it does make a difference.
TVs are kind of getting so affordable now. You almost don't have an excuse not to get a decent one, though. So it's like
exactly you don't.
And most of them are like 4K anymore anyway, unless they're below a certain size. That seems like I don't think I've seen any at Walmart that are 1080p that aren't under unless they're like under 40 inches or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I think. These days you can get it. You can get these kind of things relatively cheap. You don't have to even go, much more than $1,000 to get a really quote unquote high end, really good looking set. You can go very inexpensive and pay $500-$600 for some of these things. For a 4K set of a decent size, you're going to have issues. It's not going to look as good as like we talk about here, but you don't have to spend. Back in the day when I was still working in the business and selling this stuff, if you really wanted to get premier quality stuff, you had to go $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for some of these bigger sets. You don't have to do that anymore.
I still have yet to see some sets that look as good as my plasma does.
The Panasonic,
my 1080p,
the same one.
Yeah.
The Panasonic plasma set.
The color on that bitch is just amazing,
especially when calibrated. When I calibrated mine, I went into the menu settings and did custom calibrations. That thing is exquisite, and the only reason that I finally upgraded was I waited 10 years or whatever the hell it was until I was satisfied with OLED, which gets you the closest. OLED is the closest technological thing to what plasma did, in the sense that with OLED, every pixel can be turned on and off and illuminated independently. Ooh. And that makes a big difference. Yeah. I wasn't getting that out of anything else.
Let me put it to you this way. If you have a really good plasma TV, though, like I have one of my 4K players hooked up to my plasma, and I played a 4K Blu-ray just to look. It looks almost as good as my 4K TV.
Yep,
does.
I'd agree with that. I would agree.
Just because of the way the plasma handles the video. Like, there's tons of 1080p Blu-rays that look better on my plasma than they do up converted through on my 4K TV. Yeah, so
that's why I waited patiently, and I had the C series, the C2 series from LG for the OLED here in my office, and then when I rebuilt the living room with the new entertainment center, I got the 65-inch gallery series, the G series, and man, I thought the C series looked good, and it does, but holy crap!
And people are talking about the ghosting. Yeah, they actually came up with ways of, like, the last few TVs they produced, the ghosting wasn't as big of a deal anymore. They had, like, I can't remember the process it had inside the TV where it would internally do it without you being able to even see it with the human eye. It would, like, make sure there was
I didn't have a ghosting issue.
Yeah, it would recycle things every once in a while just so it wouldn't have that problem. But the bigger problem was the size. The bigger the size of the picture, the heavier. Those bitches are fucking heavy.
Oh, they're tanks. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, you're talking the same kind of weight as a normal
heat they
tube
put
TV.
Off.
Exactly.
They're space heaters.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got some amplifiers that would give them a run for their money. Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to wrap this up here because Greg's got to run anyway, and I'm sure Valliant and Mike got other things to do, and we got a show to get ready for later on as well. Isn't that right, Greg?
Yes, we do tonight. 9:30 my time. I think it's like
just over an hour. Yeah.
And the kids are screaming. So
yeah, so you're gonna have to deal with that. So thank you for being here. I'll join you over there in about 80 minutes or so. So there you go.
We'll
see you there. Mike, anything you want to plug on your way out?
Oh, not really today. No, I'm good.
All right. It was good to have you here. It's always good to get your insights and talk to you. And Valliant, I know you're a big YouTuber now, so we love it when you can come slum it with us over here on the 4K side of things.
I don't feel like it. YouTube's kicking my butt this month, but then again, they're kicking everybody's butt this month. It seems like views just.
Yeah, I don't think it's just you.
No, I know it's not. I've looked around. I'm like, okay. I mean, like there's something like July was explosive, and then August, as big as July was, August is the same thing, but in the opposite direction. It's like, what the hell? Like, I mean, it's like can't do anything right. So it's just one of those funky things.
No, but thanks, man, for taking the time out. We always love getting to talk to you about 4K stuff and the techie stuff, and I love having you here for all the answers that I don't know or the questions that I don't know the answers to. I mean, that's what I was trying to say. But and just one more thing, this to remind me, I forgot about this. I was just about to take this down, but you'll probably have a harder time, John, finding a decent 4K Blu-ray player. But most people don't realize that you can get a really, really good player if you're in a pinch. And that would be the Xbox One S. Is one of the best 4K players for the price out there, especially like if you go buy one used. It's One S, right?
Yeah, not the Xbox Series S.
No, the One
that has no disk drive. For the Xbox One S.
Yeah, or the one I have the one before that too. The one with the it's a 1S, I think. Yeah, I think it is.
The only drawback to the Xbox is it doesn't do Dolby Vision.
Yeah, I think you're correct on that. But I don't know about the newer ones. And the PS5 does. The only problem I had with PS5 was a sound problem, but probably something I could fix with a app or something else. I just didn't want to deal with it. So it's like, I'm not going to be using this to watch Blu-rays anyway. I got enough other Blu-ray players. So no, you may run into that problem, but actually Walmart has a couple of choices right now that are not too bad. Steven Stalig says, I don't want Disney to improve. I want them to fail. I want revenge. We need to collect scalps. The death of Disney can serve as a warning for the future producers of entertainment. No, I agree for the most part as far as like the bad stuff, Steven. I'm all for it if they're going to turn shit around. That's the thing, though. I'm not gonna turn around and say like, bad Disney if they do something right. Now, releasing Cinderella and Snow White remastered in 4K, not some upconvert bullshit, is the right direction. We didn't even get a chance to talk about this because we had so much other stuff to catch up on. But yeah, I don't know if you guys had saw this or not, but there's a little bit of controversy because of the sound. Bill Hunt did an update on it. But this looks stunning, just like they did with Cinderella. I kind of can't wait. But don't anybody tell Rachel Ziegler that this is coming out. But just to zoom in there, I know you guys are not even going to be able to see the full quality here of how good this looks, right?
Yeah, I was relatively happy with Cinderella.
Yeah, this looks amazing too. Here's the original here, and then here's the new remaster version there.
There should be more color depth. Yeah, you would expect. So good.
Yeah, it's dingy looking on the left, and that's what I'm saying. This does not even do it justice. But you can find these images out online. But I saw there was some griping about the sound, because I guess it was listed as True Dolby Digital 7.1 or something like that, but it's actually going to get DTS 5.1 in the original mono mix. So I don't know what the deal is. It's the same thing they did to Cinderella, though. Cinderella had a 7.1 mix on the old Blu-ray. For some reason, they did it. I don't know if it's a new 5.1 mix or it's just a down converted. I don't really care. As long as it has both options and something that sounds good, that's all I give a shit about. So, as long as it has somewhere between stereo and 5.1, I'm usually happy. I've come to the point where some of these 5.1 mixes and so on, some lately, I've not been too impressed with. And some of the Dolby Atmos mixes, I've just been like, they didn't really need to do anything there, or they didn't really use it to its full potential anyway. So that's just me personally. As far as them failing, yeah, if they keep doing wrong, I definitely want to see them fail. But that's something more that we talk about on the morning shows, and Mead and Valiant's channel is almost like dedicated to that lately, it seems. But it's kind of hard when you're Disney and every week you got a new problem, or almost every day now. It's almost daily at this point.
Yeah, I'm trying to interject a few new things there. So
no, I hear you, brother. It's just kind of hard when that's so much going on over there.
Oh, yeah. It like, doesn't freaking stop.
No, yeah. Another lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
Investigation after investigation after investigation. There you go. I wouldn't call Dolby Atmos a failure, Sander. I just don't think it's being used to its full potential yet. And there's this big, huge, like, this is a whole nother conversation to be had, but there's this big, huge issue with it in the music community and how Apple's using it and how that's not really what it's meant for compared to, I've heard it used in movies the way it was made for very well. But I still have yet to see something where I can really go, oh my gosh, that was the greatest Dolby Atmos experience I've ever had. Then again, my home setup is not ideal because I can't put my speakers in my ceiling. So that's a problem.
I think my favorite Dolby Atmos track is probably Kong Godzilla.
I don't know if I've heard that one. Have I?
That one was pretty damn good.
I'm trying to remember if it was on Max that way. I probably did. As far as like remastered ones, though, I'm trying to think of ones that really stuck out in my mind. Now, I remember griping about So I Married an Axe Murderer because they went to the extent of having, like, I don't know if you guys remember that scene near the end where you hear she's chopping with the axe and you hear Mike Myers going, crunch, crunch, back and forth like that. Now, the sound effects, the crunch part was in the upper left channel. Like, it sounded like it was coming from that space. But Mike's voice was coming from the center channel. So it's like, you ruin the illusion. You have to have his voice coming from the same spot for the joke to work. Right? Like, it does. Yeah. See, in that case, they didn't use it correctly. Now, The Doors was one I remember having a very excellent Dolby Atmos mix. But that really utilized the psychedelic nature of the film, too. I'm trying to think. There was a couple I've reviewed in the past where I have brought up where the Dolby Atmos really did shine, but nothing is really coming to mind offhand right now. So we're gonna have to come back to that at another date. But no, I don't think it's a failure so much. It's just another choice. But with that, I think we're gonna close the shop up. I want to thank you guys for being here. Valiant, did you have anything to plug as well, or did we already get to you? I can't remember.
No, just stay tuned to the channel. More stuff to come.
All right. So with that, take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you on physical media in about an hour and 10 minutes. Take care, kids. Oh, and don't forget to visit our sponsor.
Friends, if you're looking for real old school laughs, you're in for a treat because we've got them right here. Flip City Magazine. Remember Mad Magazine? Then it went woke? Well, don't worry. Flip City has no chance of going woke. That's right. 4 times a year, you'll get an actual printed magazine full of jokes, stories, comics, and more, all about today's pop culture, entertainment, and woke politics. Flip City takes terrible entertainment trends we love to hate with hilarious parodies of Lord of the Rings, Stranger Things, The Walking Dead, Star Trek, Hunters, and more. Trust me when I say there is nothing else like Flip City on the market. So subscribe today. It will be delivered in print, or you can even get it digitally if you're one of those wacky Zoomers. Either way, follow our link and sign up today, and if you put in midnight, you get an extra 10% off. Check out Flip City Magazine today.
Bye.